some reason the audio didn't come off. So sorry if I'm a bit late. I had to go to the toilet. Oh, we've now got a new microphone mode. Original sound for musicians. Or noise removal default. So I'll go for the noise removal default.
Original sound for musicians off. Is it off?
I've gone on to noise removal default.
Okay.
Speaker. Okay. Piece of paper. I was going to go straight into the first meditation, but I think we need to have a little caveat. Especially in line with what we're doing in Thursday class. So in our Thursday class, we're understanding reality is dependent on our mind. And with Tantra, instead of just, say, receding into the awareness self and leaving things be and then coming back and seeing them, we are consciously working on the divine aspect of what the senses are in relation to awareness, and then using our senses to deepen that understanding of awareness and then what we're perceiving. So even as many happens for many people who don't follow tradition, that they can have satori, they can have moments where they rest in awareness and they come back in the world, it's not really a problem. But it's still very much the world that they've always thought. Yeah, it's still a world really for out there. And they're in awareness here. But with Tantra, it's this understanding that what is actually perceived is an aspect of the light. We're all just a manifestation, you could say, of the sun. You know, droplets of this. We are beings of light. We are made of light. We are light. Getting far out on a Thursday morning Self Esteem class, we already have a rainbow body. Like it's there. It's not like something that you make to your mind. It's just we're made of light, and it's like understanding that. It can't be underestimated. When if you ever listen to Chomsky, that language is, and he's basically saying the same as Buddha, right? Language makes the world we perceive. And so when we understand, if you're told that you are reincarnated, and that's part of the culture, you're told you're reincarnated, you're told that you reincarnate. You find a lot of kids who can remember their past lives. And in cultures where it's just under the Abrahamic religions, it doesn't happen so much. It might do, but they don't really frame it, and it doesn't come up so much. If you're told that you're rubbish, if you're told don't show off, don't show off, don't show off, you'll be someone who doesn't want to express themselves in this world without some kind of guilt or some, can't do that, that's wrong, that's standing out, that's the ego, that's me standing out. This is all to understand the connection between what we think, what we're told, and then what we see and what manifests. So when we do this, like meditation, one extra thing I want to say. So someone like, I don't want you to be too afraid. It's important to understand when you're doing this work we're doing, that this works. So I always think of someone like Nick Cave, and he sings songs of tragedy. And I've just been waiting for him to have tragedy. Just been waiting. It's like you can't say like that art imitates life, life imitates your art. Yeah. And if you have been like creative person or you're doing these things, you come across people whose life starts, the things they write about start to happen. It like happens a lot. Yeah. The things you're writing about, if you're doing the morning pages, you'll see it's like you'll start to connect to your intention. Like deeper intentions. And your intentions will create reality. So Nick Cave had two of his sons died tragically. It's like, just been waiting for it. It's like he's like drawing that into his life by all these tragic songs and drama. Just almost like calling out for that experience to happen to him. It's not that hard to see. People who talk about tragic things happen to them. So when we do this meditation, you kind of visualize the life you'd like to have. Visualize what you'd like to have in your life. We want to understand that it'll probably happen. And so, it's just always good to understand the power of your mind rather than the belief. But just to really feel into your heart what you do want. And you have to kind of feel I do want to follow what I want. And you can't deny that. So if we're following God's will, if we're following Dzogchen, then it's like, I don't want to pray for anything. That's like an essential state. Because if I'm praying, then who's the one praying? Who's the one asking? It must be someone outside of the greater sense of things happening that wants things to happen. And then I'm overriding that which should happen. You have to decide if you're kind of near that space or not. And because if you just take that as a philosophical thing, I shouldn't want things, it's not going to change the fact that you're constantly praying for what you want. And we can check, are we constantly praying for what we want? Like, I want, that's the prayer. That's how it starts. I want. So if we're constantly if we're in Dzogchen, God, what God wants, God will, your will. Thy will be done. That's the prayer. As if like whatever happens, thy will be done. So I just want you to understand the responsibility. And when the things happen that you asked for happen, they also come with negative things because it's part of duality. And you have to admit, I wish for this. It's God, but I just did it as part of a practice. Like there's no ignorance behind it. It's like I asked for this. However, what we usually ask for is, if we're a woman, to be seen as ugly. So when you look in the mirror and go, I'm fat, I'm fat, I'm fat, you're basically, it's a prayer to God to be seen as fat. Right? God answers your prayers. But okay, if that's what you want. I'm ugly. Then people treat you like that. You can say, you can try the Vajrayogini. Remember, you've been doing this let's say if you're a woman, you're going, I'm fat. And it's a meditation. Because all meditation is how we use our mind, right? It's an analytical meditation, and you concentrate on it totally, right? You concentrate on it so much, you have maybe tears, right? I know a lot, they'll have tears, it'll shape their whole day. In fact, they won't go out, it's so like a powerful meditation. And then people be uneasy in your presence because you're then relating to people see you as fat. You're making this world in which people see you as fat and ugly. And then you react to them against, and it becomes your destiny. Right? It's not, I think it's too complicated. And so if you imagine you spend, I don't know, I'm going for girls now, maybe 8 or 9. Maybe, I don't know, that's just a guess. Would start to see themselves like that. When I was in primary school, I had a couple of girls who wanted to be women when they're like 10. And I'm like, even then, I'm like, just be a child once you're a child. So maybe 10. So let's say 30 years, I'm fat meditation. That's quite a strong effect. So let's do the other. After 30 years of saying, I'm Vajrayogini, I have no problems, I am a goddess, I just bless people wherever I go. All I do is bring bliss and light. Try that for the same length of time and see if it has any effect. And then it will. They even do it for a few days and it's like, never mind 30 years. And you start to understand the power of your mind. Okay? So it's a very important caveat. It's for everyone that we're doing later on in the class, you just like understand this power of what I'm praying for, of what I want. The other side of it is we've been subject to misery. We've been subject to misery. And you're just constantly told you're not good enough. That's the media. When you're watching an advertisement, you are being told you're not good enough. You don't have enough. So every day you go and say, you don't have enough, you don't have this, you need this, you need this, you don't have enough, you don't have enough, you don't have enough. And then now for men as well, you're not good looking enough, you need this to be better looking, you're not good looking enough, you're not good looking enough. And then we watch actors and the stories. So the stories are written by people who are subjected to this, and then it's stories about how I'm not good enough and trying to be better and people not liking me, and kind of solidifies this worldview of yourself. So if you need some happiness in your life, bring it in. That's the meditation. Bring it in. It's just very important to be consciously aware that it will probably work. And those of you that are going for God's will, you just kind of notice when it's like, whoa, I don't want to go for God's will just yet here. I need this or I need that. And it's like my personal self feels like it needs this. But it's like, it's difficult. Like, so it's Osho's thing, it's difficult just to go straight to God by just being in that misery and just maintaining misery and taking on suffering without some goodness coming. And Tantra is all about making things enjoyable and blissful. The spiritual path is about having a really beautiful life. It's difficult to do it. It is if you're poor, lonely, etc. Right? Through this meditation, you imagine how you want your life to be, like in 5 years' time. And then imagine the most beautiful your most beautiful self you can imagine, how you'd want to be, without kind of any restrictions. And it's just, and maybe if you do notice restrictions, you are afraid you're going to be happy. And notice there's a resistance. It's like, I'm not ready for that happiness yet. And that's where it comes from. The meditations we've been doing on ourselves to be miserable. And from the people around us who kind of are unconscious Sangha, who support, yeah. You need to get a job to be happy. You need to get a job to be happy. You need to get a job to be happy. And it's a very powerful thing. We really feel that we need to have a job to be happy. It's not so, right? Make the connect. It's not like you need to be a job to be happy, but you need to overcome that meditation you've created for yourself. Okay. Let's let me see where are we. So let's start by find a comfortable position. And when you're doing this meditation, if a couple of different lives arise, that's fine, right? You don't have to limit yourself to one thing or one sense of yourself. You go into different aspects and different feelings. We're just trying to get like a good feel for ourselves. And the most important thing is always having a straight spine, the channel straight, for the energy to flow. You can maybe take 3 deep breaths and just release any tension. Hopefully you've had a good sleep and maybe a coffee, and when you relax it won't make you fall asleep. But sometimes in these meditations it can actually help to be a bit drowsy. Try and let go of the conscious mind. Feel your breath. Having a feeling of love towards yourself. Remembering this affirmation, God wants me to succeed. And I will treat myself as someone who is loved. Just come into your heart. It's natural to be happy. It's natural to feel love. To feel love is just wanting good things for other people and yourself. without any sense of restriction. What is your dream job? In a perfect world, what would you secretly like to be? Name one concrete goal that signals to you its accomplishment. This goal signifies your true north. This is an emotional fulfillment. When I've done this, think of someone who's a role model in that field. In 5 years' time, where would you like to be in relation to this dream job? And its emotional accomplishment. What action can you take in the following year to make this happen? What action can you take this month? This week? This moment, we're doing it right now. Opening our heart to what we love. Integrating into this, what's your dream family life? What would be its emotional accomplishment for you to feel, I'm having the family life of my dreams? Is your heart drawn to an experience of another family that resonates for you? What is an emotional accomplishment? A guideline. And where would you like to be in 5 years' time in relation to this? This is the deepest calling in your heart. Of living a life of joy. Of tuning the heart so you can listen to its intuitions. What could you do in the following year for this vision of your dream family life to happen? Maybe it's already happened. And you can just acknowledge that. Maybe it's something purely internal for you. What do you feel you could do this month, this week? What's your dream day of relaxation? Try to get a sense of a holistic dream visualization of your job, your family, your ability to relax. What's your dream day of spiritual integration into all of this? What does the spiritual life mean to you within your dream job, your dream family? Your complete sense of accomplishment, of success. What does success mean to you? Does it include consciousness, God? A spiritual life that doesn't have a sense of struggle. It's just enjoyment. Can you see that in 5 years' time? What would be its accomplishment for you? Would it be meditating 24 hours in a cave? Or would it be the ability to smile at your family every morning? There's no wrong or right answer to what you would find spiritual fulfillment integrated into your life. We're visualizing it so we can sense what steps we can take towards it in the next year, the next month, the next week. Let go of the visualization, come back to the breath. And a sense of gentleness towards your heart, a sense of honoring yourself. I am allowed to be happy. I am allowed to be creative towards my own life. God wants me to succeed. Come back to the room around you. And if you need a moment to stretch, please take a moment. How did everyone get on with that? Good? Good? Good. You see past 5 years? Yeah, great. Great. So, I think we'll do another exercise. So a lot of the exercises we're doing, a lot of the things we're doing, so a lot of them are similar. It's just, what did I really want? What did I really want? What did I? And then certain things can really just strike you. And then there'll be lots of baggage around it. And a lot of times just kind of unearthing that baggage. And we never know when it'll be released. It's something that someone did to us, or the pain it caused us. It's good to say it like that, the pain someone caused us. So, oftentimes when someone causes us pain, they weren't doing anything intentionally harmful to us. It's just they were living their life, and because they're not enlightened, and sometimes even if they are, it had a really negative effect on us. You can say maybe a less impactful version of the first time you leave your baby and you have to go to the toilet. It has a devastating effect on your child. Devastating. So much so it creates your Enneagram type. Right? But you're not doing anything wrong. Sometimes people intentionally are hurting us. But if we understand the Buddha, then they are acting unconsciously like a robot. Just on a small level, they're intentionally doing it, but they don't know who you are. They don't know what life is. And they're basically in fight or flight, and they're attacking you. Of course, it's horrible, and of course, they're intentionally doing it. But sometimes they just left the room. Sometimes they just said something and they're trying to be funny, but it really hurt. So it's we want to be just acknowledging what caused us pain without trying to blame too much. If it's a really difficult thing, you need to go to therapy to try and just kind of get to grips with what you think that person was doing to you from their point of view. From the spiritual point of view, it's about forgiveness. That's what it's always working on. The ability to understand that they are ignorant. And that can take a long time to understand. Because we need to know ourselves that we're never conscious. If we had the choice to be in love, we would. Which kind of brings up this the simplicity of what the spiritual path is. Does anyone here, online, or later on, who's watching later, does anyone feel that I've ever taught them what's wrong or right? No?
Yeah.
I've taught you what's wrong and right. Like you didn't know it, and I taught it to you.
No, maybe reminded me of what I already know. Nice to be on time for seeing people.
I need to look at the. So Baron says no, but maybe being reminded, or when it comes to maybe things like adab, like turning up on time, that's more like a cultural thing. We could just as easily agree, just turn up whenever you want, and that'll be the context in which we practice. Does anyone feel any of their family members doesn't know what's wrong or right? Deep down, like they don't know what it is. when anyone's condemning themselves, like look in the mirror and go, oh, I'm ugly or I'm useless, does anyone not know that they're just harming themselves? And deep down you know that that's what you're doing, and deep down you don't really know what you are. We say many times, the Buddha can't do it for you. You already know. It's innate. You just know what's wrong and you know what's right. And it's this question of like, when we're doing these classes, it's you have to bring in the spiritual path, really, because we're spiritual beings. So it's this question of doing. So if you just start doing things that you know are right, which is what's good for me, what's good, what's true. Like, truth is not out there. Exiles, is it? Exile, truth is out there. Truth is not out there per se. It's in relation to you. It's not like there's no outside. It's very difficult to understand with the mind, but we know it's in relation. What's true, what's good, and we know what it is. And it's a choice. It's always a choice. And if the more we go, the ego is that which goes against what's good for us. So Venerable Geshe says the ego serves no other function than to cause us harm. It's a serious statement to how much we cherish it. It turns us away from what we know is good and right. Sometimes it's in a line. Then you have a spiritual ego. So you have an ego that's, I'm good. But it's easier to impute I'm good when we're doing good actions, rather than I'm going to first correct myself internally and then I'll sort my life out. So there's always connection between when we're doing Tantra, we're doing it, we're doing actions, and then we can impute on it, I'm good. Yeah, rather than this first sorting your mind out and then waiting for action to happen, there is a connection. There's a connection. You can just go internal and the actions will start to come out. But it's a lot easier if you're doing good actions, and then suddenly you are that thing. So if you ever do a craft, you're like, I can't do anything. And then magically, you just notice, because we can't really see paint drying. After 2 years, like, oh, I can do it. It's like, oh, I'm a painter. So if you just get your guitar and every day you can't play, you go, I can't play. It's like an imputation. It's like, we had someone in last night going, oh, I'm not a musician. They go, why not? And they go, oh, well, I am. Right? You start off, I'm not. You're not. I mean, you could say if you pick up a guitar and you go, you are a guitar player. No one will come listen to you. But, you know what I mean? We say, I'm not a guitar player. I can do 3 chords. Then at a certain point, I can play guitar. What's that point?
Decision. It's a decision.
It is a decision, but it just magically happens, right? Suddenly, it's just you notice that you can do it because you've been doing it every day. Yeah. Rather than going, I'm not picking up the guitar because I'm not a guitar player. I'm not painting because I can't paint. Of course you can't, because you're not painting. I don't have the life I want to live because you're not doing anything about it. I'm not spiritual because you don't practice. If you just sit and meditate every day and you just get on with it, and all of a sudden it's like, I'm meditating. Like the bus is late, the bus came past and everyone's getting agitated. I'm not. It's like, I'm a meditator. But in terms of our creative self, that's usually the thing, no, I'm not a musician yet, so I can't do it. And it's like an excuse for the ego. Whereas we just want to just start. The other thing that comes up is I'm too old. I'm too old to do this. It's classic ego. It's the same as I don't have enough money. But there's many, many great artists, creative people who started their craft when they were older. The guy who plays Frasier's dad. I think he started in his late 40s or very early 40s, he started acting. And it's like, if you're a writer, generally you want to start when you're about 40. Like you've actually got something to say, right? So, I mean, you can start writing when you're now. The point is, age is never an excuse. Same with your musician. You've got something to sing about. You've got experience. When you're young, you've got vitality. When you're older, you've got experience. There's always something that's... We don't use anything as an excuse. There's loads of things that can stop us, can trigger us, and a lot of it can happen when we're young. And we just have ideas, I can't do it, I can't do it. I think my audio's been off. I don't know. Shouldn't be in control in any way of shape or form. Any organisation. So let's do this exercise. So, I mean, some of the questions may seem like it doesn't apply to you, but just whatever comes up when you... So it's a series of questions with a blank, and you fill in the blank. So I'll say blank, and that's your... So we know the kind of milieu in which we're doing it. We're trying to just feel out, just almost like unconsciously, try not to judge what comes up. Oh, that's not spirit. Just, it might be like, I fucking hate God. If that's what comes up, that's what comes up. Yeah, like you come up. You can't free yourself if you've got in a spiritual jail. So the first question. As a kid, my dad thought my art was blank. That made me feel blank. As a kid, my dad thought my art was... That made me feel... I'll say also go through them fairly quickly about this space, but if one really distracts you and you want to keep writing, just keep writing it. 2, I remember one time when he blank. I felt very blank and blank about that. I never forgot it.
So blank and blank about that.
Yeah. Four, as a kid, my mother taught me that my daydreaming was blank. As a kid, my mother taught me that my daydreaming was... I remember she'd tell me to snap out of it by reminding me blank. The person I remember who believed in me was blank. The person I remember who believed in me was I remember one time when blank, and I felt blank and blank about that. I never forgot it.
So do you repeat that?
The person I remember who believed in me was, I remember one time when I felt blank and blank about that. I never forgot it. It's a positive one. The thing that ruined my chance to be a creatively expressive person was the thing that ruined my chance to be a creatively expressive person was the negative lesson I got from that, which wasn't logical, but I still believe, is that I can't blank and be creative. The negative lesson I got from that, which wasn't logical, but I still believe, is that I can't blank and be creative.
Was that I couldn't, again, the negative lesson that I got from that, which wasn't logical, but I still believe,
is that I can't blank and be creative. Everyone okay with the pace? Yep, okay. Next question. When I was little, I learned that blank and blank were big sins that I particularly had to watch out for. When I was little, I learned that blank and blank were big sins that I particularly had to watch out for. I grew up thinking creative people were blank people. I grew up thinking creative people were people. The teacher who shipwrecked my confidence was The teacher who shipwrecked my confidence was I was told blank. I believed this teacher because blank. I believed this teacher because what? The mentor who gave me a good role model was blank. The mentor who gave me a good role model was when people say I have talent, I think they want to blank. When people say I have talent, I think they want to blank. The thing is, I am suspicious that blank. The thing is, I am suspicious that blank. I just can't believe that blank. I just can't believe that blank. If I believe I am really talented, then I am mad as hell at blank and blank and blank and blank and blank. If I believe I am really talented, then I'm mad as hell at and. Okay. Don't necessarily want anyone to read anything out, but if anybody wants to, got anything they want to share or anything that's come up about this, or if you just think, yeah, it's just a waste of time.
I've just filled it out. I've just written what you said. I haven't filled it out. I just assumed that we'd have time up to go through it. So I'm sat there trying to remember stuff and then to the next thing.
Okay. Well, you do it later if you want.
Yeah, thank you.
Did anything come up when you were thinking?
There was a little voice that was just like, I fucking don't want to do this. Like it's like
Oh, great.
touching on like don't know, something really deep, something really deep.
Yeah.
Like yeah, real deep self criticism that scared of being talented. That
Yeah, you didn't even do the exercise.
was it?
You didn't even do the exercise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, there's a little part of me that like playing guitar and learning that when I was young, but there was like so much self-criticism when I was practicing and learning it. Kind of, I was getting lessons for years, but it was always against this low self-esteem that would just bring up really strong to the point where the low self-esteem won.
Right. So yeah, we can investigate where that voice came from. That's part of these questions, and maybe it won't work. Maybe later on it will trigger out, because at some point you grabbed it. That when you're learning guitar, you learned it that way, that I'm not good enough. It'll have come from a voice, it'll have come from an energy. Children never have it naturally.
Yeah, I think my mum was very, I don't think she ever felt a sense of creative achievement, so she'd try and push me into that, and it would actually have the opposite effect. Like, she was very strong in her hate way, and they just try and, you're brilliant, and it was like an attack.
Yeah.
You shut me down.
You know it's not real.
Not what's it?
You know it's not real.
What's not real?
Someone saying you're brilliant when you're just starting.
Yeah, like it's not true.
Yeah.
And it would actually shut me down. It would actually wouldn't give me the space to find it for myself, or it would be micromanaging that brilliance. So yeah, it kind of had the opposite effect. The intention was sweet. It was an attempt, but probably a deep.
We don't know if the intention was sweet. The intention might be her unfulfilled creativity. Her intention might be she's scared of looking like a bad parent. Yeah. No blame, but that might be the intention. Do you ever have the feeling that you don't want to look like a bad parent? Right? It's not something it's easy to get out of. Right?
Yeah.
So it's not like you blame, but you recognize that might have been the voice that I took on, that young, that feeling, and then, or whatever it is, right? But it's, and we're unearthing wounds.
Yeah, I noticed that with all the blanks, my brain just blanks out all the answers to it. I can't think about it, I'm not trying to remember. But there's such old wounds, there's not, maybe it's a self-protection thing. I don't know. I can't find the memories of where it comes from. From a teacher. I know that in my primary school, the teachers were really Roman Catholic school, the teachers really, probably very sexually repressed, or the female teachers just really not nice to the kids. Just belittled us when we were small. Yeah, I don't have specific memories, but I just remember being publicly humiliated a lot and picked on by the teachers.
Yeah, I mean, you talked at the start of the class, then what you think about yourself becomes your identity, and it becomes what other people see about you. You create it through your meditation. So it's these are very important, because these are core meditations we have about ourselves, core prayers, core internal dialogues that become an energetic pattern. So we don't actually need to maintain the dialogue anymore. It's just fixed energy, fixed chi. Yeah, that's why Chinese medicine can help lots. It goes for the chi. When we're doing Tummo, we're changing the chi. We change because the minds mount the chi, and the chi just fixed pattern. It's just, if there's nothing, you can think whatever you want, but the chi just going in this channel because it's trained to, and it'll just stay there. So you invite it in your life all the time, right? The clown. The clown. Look at me and bring a laugh or something like that. Yeah, in the tarot, the Fool. The Fool's a great card in its place. Yeah, and we can have times when we're the Fool, which is just to jump off the cliff without looking and not being worried how people see you. But it's not the king. It's not the emperor. It's not the magician, you know. And so if when you play in the full, then you've got to say, when you're going back, these internal patterns, and it's like, so it can be really shocking. So it's like, there's different ways of imputing fine. You can go, I'm fine, I'm good, everyone's good. But underneath there's a volcano of pain that just maintains these energetic patterns in which we just act out the fool. Want attention, act out the fool, want attention. And then, but on top, we go, I'm fine, no, I like my life, but it's like, it's motivating you and doing it. When we're like ultimately fine, then we're fine with all our wounds. And when you're on the spiritual path, God will push you until you look at your pain, look at your wounds, and go, it's okay. Because you need to be okay with it so you can forgive the person who did it to you.
We could go.
What's that?
Sorry.
No, it's just to get into paradise, the only way is to forgive everyone who hurt you. What were you going to say?
Like a week ago, I had to introduce myself in Tiny Temple to a room of 100 people in Archetype, and I could feel it was very interesting, just going to go up on stage and talk, and it's like, I wanted to go bright in that moment, and I was just like, the feelings of the roller coaster of feelings and self, that all that past baggage and pain just coming in waves, that was so strong, and analysing and thinking about it. And maybe it's a resistance of not wanting to be the fool. I don't know how not to go into that cheat pattern. It's just like, oh, it's a group of people. It's like, maybe there's that impulse to want to try and impress everyone at once. But there's also this feeling that I don't want to be that person. But the habit was definitely this fight at these levels. And feeling really totally exposed.
That's great.
Just makes you want to understand it and see the root of it.
Yeah. So it's good to be aware that you're still scared of it. So you keep working with the wish, I want to understand it. And then say maybe these exercises and you really, instead of your mind just shutting down, just going, well, I can't remember. And slowly can open up. Because so you might just cry for days. When you see it, when you feel it. Like if you do the recapitulation again, it's like a recapitulation process, but going into our past, going into all our actions and recognize it and seeing it. When you energetically experience that time, it's a very powerful thing. You have to energetically experience it again to let it go. In terms of the spiritual work, most of it is being aware of it. Yeah. Did you go up and act the fool? Right. So part of it seems like confusion, and there's an element of confusion. You go, I don't know how to act. I don't want to be that, but you're already looking at it. So you're aware that there's an energetic pattern of being a fool. Before you start the spiritual path, you're just a fool. He's like, this is me. Well, this is me. Now it's like, I don't want to be like that, and I can see it. Depending on your inclination, depending on one's inclination, one can practice Tantra in which we positively project. Like, no, I'm a Buddha. I'm an emperor. I'm going to speak like this. And another is, you just witness that, and then let's just see what happens. I'm not going to hold on to any identity, and I'll just see what happens in that moment. This energy's here, maybe like nervous energy. Oh, my body's nervous. Okay, great. I'm not. And then it's like, I'm going to go and see rather than be defined. So I'm no longer defined by this full persona, but I don't know who I am. So let's just see what happens. let's see what new thing can come out now that I'm aware that I'm not going to be like this. It's more like, oh, shoes away, it's like, don't create a new pattern to be. But that can be very scary. There's no safety net. It's also a very beautiful thing to kind of, because we know what's good, to just kind of project what's good and then walk into it. It depends on your inclination.
I had that before at the festival when I did the Ocean meditation. It was like, there were like 40 beautiful women that turned up. I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but they hardly spoke English, so I was just like, I just didn't know who I was. But yeah, putting myself in those moments and not preparing, just feel a sense of grace after, like it's a real opening, and with that as well, it's like coming up against that self, and it's weird. It does feel like it feels transformational. It feels like a new self starts to rise out of that. Maybe it's reliving that old wound, don't know, in that moment, that fear, and it's comfortable to avoid that, or those moments that are quite raw that remind you of maybe the original pain.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, and just take your time to go into the pain. Acknowledge that you're hiding from it. Okay? Yeah, it's totally fine. There's no obligation to do anything like that. Anyone else have? Thank you, Baron.
The last few that stood out the most to me. There's almost, I couldn't pinpoint anything that I've had teachers put me down, or my parents were always really supportive. There's maybe some things that have been imbibed, such as security things through mum quite a lot maybe, but there seemed to be a denial of talent and just not being able to accept it. And then the last one is the one that stood out to me the most, because if I believe I'm talented, then I'm mad as hell at delusions, ego, wasting time, losing security, being big-headed, and disappointing my parents. I'm not really sure where.
So it's like an internal fight and this relationship with your parents about security. What was the thing you said about talent?
All of it.
So you said something about talent just now.
Well, one before is that I genuinely can't believe that I'm talented at something.
That's what you wrote.
Yeah, and then
Right?
Yeah.
It's so good to share in the group. Again, probably the most talented person out of all of us for his thing, right?
Yes.
I don't see it.
Yeah. And it's just so great for other people to hear. It's like you see this beautiful woman and you just go, no, I'm fat. And it's something I've literally had moments where it's like I can't cognitively grasp what is being said out of her mouth. I'm just like, because I'm sitting there going, oh, they're so thin and skinny and like, and they go like I'm fat and ugly. And just, sometimes you laugh, you can't laugh, it's just, you just shut up. You just want to, and sometimes maybe, who knows where they actually do need a natural slap. And maybe shock them out of it, just like, that probably wouldn't work.
I did the opposite on a date once. I arrived and decided instantly it was just too attractive for me, and I just energetic the whole day. I just couldn't relax, and I was
Shooting above your pay grade. That's
yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. So it helps when you hear just, this is how everyone thinks about themselves. And no one sees you like that. So you'll think this and think, oh, other people that, but then you do these classes, and more and more, no one, I never think that about them. No one thinks that about them. And you think, what are the chances they're not thinking that about me? So it shows the power power of the mind. Yeah, the power of these meditations. I'm rubbish, I'm not good enough, I'm ugly, she's too good for me, she's too.
Do you need to identify where these things come from?
It helps.
It helps.
Yeah, otherwise it's kind of unresolved. You can, I mean, maybe not go through every single thing in your life, and you just get the main ones that kind of release these energy, right? So when you're resting in presence and consciousness and this stuff comes up, you can feel around into what it is without seeing the specific karma that made it arise. And you can release it without denial. You can maybe say it like that. You have to get enough of them, almost, that you can just, you're not bothered by what happened, and you can reinterpret it. This is going to be we're going to do the next exercise. Maybe you can do it when you go away, because we're running out of time. You can see your life however you want. So I've had a couple of lamas that have been raped. I've had, people quite a few people who's been raped, that's spiritual, had their family, their parents murdered, all sorts of stuff. And my lama's like, got drugged, and next thing I know, I'm tied up. And the guy's like, doing stuff, but I was horny anyway. And it's like, just, see what happens. And then the person ended up being at the same place she was, and I just humiliated him, and then she gave him a nickname, and that nickname stuck with him after this thing. But she's like, that's my way, I can see it however I like. Rather than, I was raped, it was so bad, it was so terrible. You can do that, it's your choice. That's absolutely fine, there's no judgment on it, right? This is like an internal personal decision to go, no, I can take that. And it's like how we then relate to our feelings, how we relate to what happened, how we relate to how that person sees us. These are big things that we work with. It's not like a blasé, it's like a real profound ability to transform whatever happens, so it becomes something you can use rather than it destroys you. Because we all go through these big things in life. Our friends leave us, our partner leaves us, our friends die. It's like how we can use it so our mind becomes bigger than the experience, and the experience doesn't crush us. When we're young, we don't have the strength to do that. If something like that happened to us when we're really young, it's a different level. If you got raped as a child, that's beyond my comprehension. And there are certain things who knows if you can heal them in this life? Like Buddha talked about certain actions that you can't become enlightened if you've done them. Like if you murder your mother, you can't become enlightened. It's too big. Too big. It's just too big a karma to kind of, it's maybe, that's not one of them, being raped as, say you're 9 or something. And how you sit with that, and whether that can be released energetically, I don't know. To the people I'm talking about, they got raped as adults. So when something happens to you as an adult, then as horrendous as it be, you can work with it. Let's say it like that. Whether don't know if you can extinguish it, that's another thing. Whether it affects your ability to trust in God or be awakened. For these lamas, it didn't. They used it. It's like making sense. So everyone's got something, right? If you haven't, you're really, really blessed. And it's not easy, life. And so you have to be very kind of gentle with yourself when someone's like, if one person feels that it's like, no, I couldn't work with that, just like put a positive spin on it yet, then you go into the pain of it, the suffering of it, work with it until at some point healing means that you could posit it's no longer affecting you negatively, right? If someone's continuously affecting you negatively, you can't really say you've healed from it. You know? Anyone disagree with it? Then it's like a scar. It's like there. It's like maybe you'll always have like a sense of low self-esteem, just hanging there, right? But it doesn't bother you anymore. It's just like, there's the clown aspect. Okay, there you are, hello. Rather than it's like, first of all, it's just who you are totally. Then it's like, I don't want to be like that. And then it's like, oh, that's okay. It's like, it's part of how I was. Does that make sense? Just because whatever's holding you back, if you don't feel there's anything holding you back anymore, then you don't need to go into everything. But most spiritual traditions, there'll be a thing where you go into your past, right? And release the energy. Experience it, release the energy, ask for forgiveness, release the energy. You're looking at it now as an adult, or your spiritual self is looking at it, and the awareness can take anything. It did take it. Something really bad happened to you, like your parents being murdered, you took it. You're here, and you took it. And then it's like, then how do we dance with it? How do we integrate it? How does it affect me? Expressing this dream life I'd like to have. What's blocking me? This is the whole thing, right? This is just one way of maybe looking at blocks. It's you tracing that voice back, tracing that thing. It's possible just to really rest in consciousness and allow it all to come up. It's really profound. Yeah, Jen.
Yeah, the exercise was difficult for me in terms of actually writing things down, but easy because I know who's to blame and I know what they did and I know how it affects me, and it all seems to be like. But when you ask the question about suspicion, so if somebody tells me that I did something really good, and this is hard to say, but this is what comes up for me, they don't mean it, but they just want to be kind to me, or they want something from me. And it's like, that's there, and I can say it and I can write it, but I don't need to believe it. I know it's not true, but it is the effect of what's happened. So I don't know if that's easy just to let that go by seeing it, or if then it just diminishes because I know that it's not true. Doesn't mean it doesn't hurt anymore, but it doesn't hurt as much, and it doesn't stop me from actually potentially believing what that person said to me. I would never say that to somebody and not mean it, or maybe maybe I would, maybe that's a part of trying to be kind, but I wouldn't do it in a way that was disingenuous, I feel. So why would they do that to me? And then I have the question of, I'm seeing that, so is that me? Is that being mirrored back to me so that I can see that? So I'm trying to just not intellectualize it too much. And just,
Yeah, so like that's one of the things of doing these exercises is to not analyze it before and just let out whatever is in there, whatever's in Pandora's box, and it's like that's one of the voices. It's not all your voices, it's not your identity, but it's one of the voices. It's like sometimes within me there's a low self-esteem aspect in which people are just complimenting me because that's what you do. And what you did is just like, that's the Dharma. Then there's another voice that can analyze it. It's this ability to observe ourselves and analyze it and go, that's not true. And actually I'm not like that with other people. So why would they be like that with me? And then you can actually just argue down this voice. You can also just watch it, but doing the two together is supreme, because you're using your mind to overcome these energetic patterns. That new mind creates a new energy as well. And also, you can do that and then observe it and just go, yeah, it's nothing. But you acknowledge that it's there, that voice, and it came from somewhere. But it's like, that's part of contemplative meditation, is the ability to think, critically think about things, so you just, nothing can shoot you down. That's great. And so we want to have all thoughts come out and go, well, is it true or not? Just because I thought it doesn't mean anything. It's like my Lama says, like, do you believe everything on the internet? Do you? Anyone? Anyone just believe anything that's on the internet? No? So why do you believe your thoughts? The internet's just thoughts, people's thoughts. Why do you believe the thoughts that you have? You just picked up from the internet, so why do you believe it? Well, it's going to the, so like you're trying to go to the root of some of the things that you actually like. You believe so much you don't even think about it. Like, I'm over here, you're over there. Things like that. I mean, it's a pretty deep one. Right? But you'll have, like, if you're a man, you'll have, like, thoughts like, who's going to attack me? Who's not? Who's going to... If you're a woman, who's going to take away my man? Who's going to take away my... Right. It's not, you're not even thinking, it's just not even thinking why it's there. Or... So it's like, it's very kind of like deep stuff. That's 1:05. So actually, I'll give you this exercise to do when you wait, if you want to. It's kind of exercise that I really like. It's in connection to what we're doing. It's called New Childhood. And what might you have been if you'd had perfect nurturing? Write a page of this fantasy childhood. What were you given? Can you reparent yourself in that direction now? It's what you kind of, in your heart, recognize is right, which we know is right and is good. Yeah. Like Baron brought up the thing about his mum being overbearing and stuff. So you can imagine the parent just kind of gently encouraging you. What would that be like? And then, can you, what Yangchen was saying, can you actually analytically bring that in and go, that's right, this thing that happened to me, you recognize that person wasn't in a good space. I don't have to believe it. It's all just this cutting the things that you believe in, that they've come from the questioning there. I believe that teacher because, well, just because I'm young and defenseless. And I project that teachers know everything. And I buy into it totally. Whereas now I can look at what teachers are, and they're usually like repressed, like little dictators who know nothing, and they've maybe got it off the internet, and they've said something they know nothing about, and I was a helpless child. I don't need to, it's like, ta-da! Like when you see it, it's, I no longer have to bring that into my identity, thought pattern and stuff. It's amazingly kind of liberating stuff. So, I hope that was good for everyone. And we continue unearthing our creative self and learning to integrate a holistic spiritual life, like the external things that we're doing as a human being and the tantric internal magic. So, thank you all. Thank you online. But let's